We're on.
Holy shit, we're holy shit, we're parents. Hey guys, this is your doula Hannah. You're listening to Holy Shit, We're Parents, the podcast where I, as a birthing and early child care professional, talk about making babies, birthing babies, and trying not to
Whoa,
lose.
whoa, 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 whoa. Just an episode? What? Meow. Just an intro. Hello, everybody. Hello, Hannah.
Hello, Justin.
Welcome to a very special Justin episode. So, typically, Hannah is the one in charge of the outline, the research, the whatever. Note at the beginning, no research was done. However, I do have the idea for what we are going to talk about, and it is something that we've mentioned before, and it is something that you have said you've struggled with, but I've seen you get a whole lot better with lately, and it is getting better at playing with your kids.
Okay.
So, I am curious just to let people know where you are. What did you find yourself struggling with, if you can identify those things, when it came to starting to play with our son as he got to the age of using his imagination?
Yeah, the big thing is I have a hard time remembering my own imaginative play as a child. Like, I know I did it. My parents have stories about, like, games I would make up or things I would say, but I don't remember them. So, it was hard for me to get into that, like, silly imagination mindset.
Okay. Were you a silly kid when you were younger? Did you exist a lot in your own imagination, or did you exist more in the imagination of others, like through books and things like that?
Definitely mostly the imagination of others with my own twist, I would say. Like,
How so?
uh
Like with a lime?
um, like, my dad tells me stories of how he would read me, like, British books, which I love the stories, but hated if he tried to do a British accent while reading them to me. And I didn't like overly exaggerated, silly voices for characters. Like, I liked emphasis and affectation, but not, like, anything over the top. Um, and I mostly read books, and I spent a lot of time outside, and I, like, kind of remember imaginative play outside and, like, pretending with my friends, but not a lot of, like, playing with toys and pretending and playing.
Okay, 'cause that's interesting because I feel like as a kid, being outside without deep imaginative play is just boring as fuck.
Well, and I know I did it. I just don't remember a lot of it. So it's hard for me to, like, tap into that to play with our kids. Like, you are very much a person in touch with your childhood, things like that, and I am the opposite.
Okay, like, have you talked to your parents? I mean, I know you've talked to your dad a little bit, about how you were at that age, what you were into, what you played with. Like, have you tried to fill in those blanks,
A
or
little bit. Like, my mom said after she heard me mention in one episode that, like, I don't remember a lot of that, um, that we had a bathroom, like, right off our living room when I was little, and she said that I would make her play diner with me, and I was the waitress, and I would stand at that door like it was a window, and I would yell back to Frank, the cook. And she still doesn't know where I got that name from or anything, but I would say
Just
things
imagining
like
her, like, standing there and, like, looking over your shoulder down this, like, empty hall, like, "The fuck?"
like, I'd take her order and then be like, "A hamburger with onion and make it snappy, Frank." I
Alright,
was, like, 3.
alright, and Frank was good?
I guess.
Okay, you
I
never had
don't
to.
remember this at all.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's, like, my first bit of advice is to, like, really sit down, like, with yourself or with, like, a parent or a sibling or somebody and find out if you don't thoroughly remember, like, how you were or even who you were at that age
Yeah.
to try to find out because chances are you're not super dissimilar to how your child is now. You've probably just unfortunately experienced a shit ton of different traumas that have, shaped you into this different person that you maybe quote thought you were supposed to grow up into or whatever, or maybe you were raised in this mindset of like, I don't know, this stupid line or whatever, like once was a child, but then I became a man and put away those childish things. Like I feel like that's very much how people feel life is supposed to go. You're supposed to be a kid, you're supposed to stop being a kid, you're supposed to be an adult. And I think that's stupid. I have dedicated probably too much of my life to trying to remain as and not to sound creepy, but childlike as possible. I mean, we cosplay, we play freaking dress up
Yeah.
as adults, and we found a community and a place where we can do that, and it's not only not weird, it's praised the more obsessive we are about it,
Right.
So, like, I think maybe me forcing you, are less adulty adults. Like, I'm
Yeah.
definitely still somebody who, like, something happens and, like, we need an adult. Like, we need to go get Hannah, you know? So, like, my first bit of advice is if you're not as in touch with that as I apparently maybe am fortunate to be, then you find out. Try to find out. I mean, and if no one's around for you to find out, I mean, just like, think about the shit that you really enjoy that you are probably the most embarrassed to admit to anybody because that's probably your nerd thing and you're probably embarrassed about it because you think you were supposed to grow out of it and you weren't. Like, you can be into Power Rangers as an adult. I listen to several podcasts about people who are super into Power Rangers as an adult. Like, and I'm not the only person that listens to these podcasts.
Right.
So, like, my advice is to remember that, like, part of being a parent is being your kid's first friend. Not just their friend, but not just their disciplinarian or structure giver. Like, you should want to be your kid's first friend.
Yeah.
And, like, how better to do that than to find a commonality just like we do in every other relationship. So, okay, maybe my kid's little right now and I was super into Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers or I mean, Totally Spies was a cool one for girls. There's, a lot of team-based, color-oriented um kids shows from when we were younger that are maybe more violent than we want to expose our kids to at a young age, but there's alternatives. I mean, like for us, Paw Patrol. One
Yeah.
of the big reasons I think our son has gravitated towards Paw Patrol is that I have gotten excited about it with him because it very much reminds me of Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, like the structure, how it unfolds. Everybody has a color, every person has a specific duty on the team. Like they have their own goofy intros, like they essentially morph. I mean, there's like so many common like threads that run through this thing that I think a lot of parents just look at as like this annoying dog show. that if you stop to pay attention to it for a little bit, like, yes, there is 0 drama. Every issue that comes up is solved right away, but if you watch an episode of the shit we watched as we were kids, it was the exact same thing, but with a monster and punching.
Yeah.
Like, we think it was dramatic because we were kids
Yeah,
and we didn't know.
exactly.
But if you go back and watch any of those episodes now, a problem comes up, but guess what? It is immediately solved because guess what? That show's only 17 minutes long because they play that intro every fucking time and they play that outro music every fucking time. So they've got so many minutes. It's the same shit. So it's like you are into it once, be into it again. Like, you learn Jason, Kimberly, Billy, Zach, Tommy, and Trini. You can learn Chase, Rocky, Sky, Zuma, Rubble, and Marshall, and Tracker, and Everest. Like, I mean, it's like, it's so easy to do if you just, like, remember that at one point in time, doing this shit excited you, and it's okay that it still does, and it still can.
Yeah.
And again, you don't go into this for I am going to be entertained by this thing. You go into this for like, I'm going to be entertained by the connection my child and I have from my knowledge of this thing. Because, like I've talked about before, I was an only child in Atlanta. And this is probably why my imagination is so like vivid in the ways that it is, was because like my parents were always wonderful about getting me toys for the things I was into and like making me feel like I had to like work or earn the toys in some silly little way, like just so I could get it. And but that's kind of where it stopped because I very much think until we had kids, my parents were both those okay, this is what an adult does because that's what they were taught. They were taught that, okay, at this age, you stop being a kid, you start being an adult. These are the things an adult does, these are the things an adult's interested in, and that's it. So I didn't have adults like I didn't have anybody to play with because I didn't have friends that lived around me. And then my parents weren't, you know, super into it. They would do their best.
Right.
We were board game people. We were always playing board games and stuff together like that. But when it came to playing with all these amazing Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers toys that we still have and now our kids have, they weren't the best at that because again, honestly, I don't think anybody played with them when they were little, so they didn't know how to do it.
Right.
Um, why did I talk about that? Mm.
Because you were explaining how to do that for your
Oh, yeah. Okay.
kids.
So the cool thing is we just like roasted through at least one of my next bullet points already. So that's awesome. Which actually that does kind of like lead me right into my next point, leaving all this in. This is gonna be a raw episode. Um about like a lot of people being like anti screen time, afraid of screen time. And I think one of the reasons that our son is so smart is because we didn't shy away from screen time, but we didn't use it as a replacement parent.
Yes.
We actively watched things with our child. I mean, I think we had an understanding, maybe subconsciously, that we're not educators. We're,
Right.
we're not small child educators, but Sesame Street's been doing it for fucking decades. So maybe they have a way that connects with kids and helps them learn stuff that we don't know. And I love Muppets. I love Henson and I loved Sesame Street. So for
Same.
me, that was super easy for us to actively watch it with our son and now with our daughter and talk while it's talking to them and not only getting them to interact with the show like it wants them to, but then interact with us in the same kind of way.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people see oh, the TV's on, the TV's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or here, watch this and go away and don't bother me.
Yeah.
When it's just like, ooh, don't even get me started about that. But as I was saying, that actively watching it not only allows like them to, I think, get more out of this because they're not just like in what people see as like zombie mode. They're more like actively watching the TV themselves because they're like, oh, mom or dad might ask me about what like Elmo just taught me.
Yeah.
Or they might ask me to like count along with the count for the number of the day or
Yeah.
things like that.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. You look like you were saying something. And furthermore, it also educates you on your child's interest.
Yeah.
So now you furthermore have something to bond over. And it's like, yeah, you don't need to love it to know, oh, there's Tango, that's Elmo's dog. And it's like, then your kid will say, Tango, that's Elmo's dog. And then, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's so easy to just like again use it as a tool to not only educate your children on the world and beyond what you can, but also to educate you on your child. And like that's something that I do every time the TV is on and the kids are around. You know what I mean? Like I'm using it as a way to like find out. Like that's how I have found out our son is so interested in dinosaurs because like through for like the PBS Kids thing on Amazon just has all these different shows up there, and he pointed at one time and wanted to watch it, or maybe I put it on because it was a Jim Henson thing, but now he knows the names of fucking dinosaurs that I can't even pronounce,
Like
and
I've never
he's
even heard of. Yeah.
turned 2 in August.
Yeah.
Like, it's w November right now?
Right.
Yeah, I
He's
don't know why I
barely
looked
2.
at my watch, the date's not there. It's 9:31. So, yeah, he was 2 in August, and it's 9:31 at night right now, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Be impressed.
yeah, um and again, kinda on that of not just putting the TV on and using it as, like, a replacement parent, I don't know what else to call it, I'm sure people will take that wrong.
A babysitter.
Okay, that's a little less but still,
Aggressive.
well, no, like, yeah, but, like, I wanna be aggressive because, like, I don't know. I love being with my kids and love being around them and like loving the chance to make them smarter than I ever was excites me.
Yeah.
So it's something that I'm passionate about. But again, about not just watching a show, don't just buy them a toy and give it to them. Learn how to use it. I mean, literally every place you go to buy a toy from, if you scroll far enough in the pictures, there's a video that is literally there to show stupid fucking parents how to use the toy. And then you teach your kid how to use the toy. Okay, here's how it's supposed to get played with, but then step the fuck back and let them teach you how they play with the toy.
Yes.
And that's something that I struggle with sometimes because I'm like, okay, we can't always replace this if you break it. So like I need to limit how you're playing with it a little bit, but I also need to understand that how I play with it or how I have been told is the way to play with it might not be the right way to play with it to our son or daughter.
Right.
So I can go
Yeah.
fuck myself.
You gotta leave
Like,
it up to their imagination.
exactly. And then I will learn a new way to play with it.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people kind of struggle with the excitement of being able to learn from your kids. It's not seen enough as a two-way street, or if it is, it's often too late.
Yeah.
Like it's looking back
Yeah.
of, oh, they taught me so much, or oh, the person I was before and then after. It's like, well, why can't we like be in it?
Yeah, do that now.
Yeah.
Like while you're still with them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. or while they're still with you before they fucking hate
Yeah.
you. And then play with them. If they play with it different, okay, that's how we play with it now, and that's how we are going to play with it. Again, this toy is not a babysitter. I didn't get you this toy to go and leave me alone. And again,
Yeah.
I know I'm different. Like I intentionally put flooring down in our basement so it will A hurt less if and when the kids jump off shit, but also B, my knees, I can crawl around on the floor with our son playing Paw Patrol stuff as long as I want because it doesn't hurt
Yeah.
because I made it that way. Like I don't want it to be an excuse. Like and sometimes I know even I use it as one, but like I don't want it to be and it doesn't need to be. So it's okay to create ways to not have an excuse to not play with your kid.
Yeah. Well, and it's okay to make a space to play in that's conducive for both of you.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was thinking about this, because in an episode a while ago now, you asked me about like what do boys think about like having kids or getting married or
Yeah.
whatever. And one of the things I always did was, and I'm sure a lot of boys and maybe girls did this, but would draw like cross sections of these crazy houses I was gonna live in and all the crazy rooms they were gonna have. And like in my prediction of my future, I was gonna have this really fun house. You were gonna get from one floor to another on a slide, and like each room was gonna be this like specific fun area room.
Yeah.
And like we kind of have that now. I mean, like obviously the garage is like an adult fun area room being like a gym, but it is what it is there. We have like the race car sim room,
Yeah.
basically slash office,
Slash office.
which is less fun. Um, yeah, and then like our snuggle area up on our big couch,
Yeah.
and then we have a slide to get down to the basement from upstairs that goes down our stairs. So it's like okay, there's a huge one
Yeah,
that
fuck
people
yeah.
think is ridiculous. Of like adults don't have
It's
slides in
like
their
the coolest
houses.
thing about our house.
It's like yeah, we do. Um, and then the basement we made into this literal like cushioned floor playland that is right now set up as Adventure Bay, Adventure City, and then all the different kind of like Paw Patrol HQ areas in between. And then it has this whole other area that's his little Thomas train area.
Yep.
And then we have this whole other area over here that is like somebody's upstairs asleep, napping. We can come down here and like maybe put a show on, maybe jump around on the futon mattress into the ball pit, down the slide off the side of the couch, or the little indoor hanging tent thing. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like that thing I envisioned, I didn't know how to picture it in reality, but it came to fruition.
Yeah.
Which and I think that's like so fucking
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah, and, like, I do see other versions of it on Instagram from people, like, who have money and do it obnoxiously, and, like, a part of me wants to be like, "Oh, that's fucking stupid," but a bigger part of me knows, like, if we could afford to have, like, a whole cross section of our house that has one of those, like, wire, like,
Oh, climb
fort
through
things
things?
yeah,
Yeah.
you goddamn fucking right we would,
Absolutely.
especially after how much fun I saw our son have at the one of the kids museum.
Yeah.
Like, we yes, no question. So, like, yeah, again, I understand that I might be a little weird in this regard, but there's also nothing stopping all these, like, quote, unquote, "big, tough, manly men" who think they're such great dads from doing the same shit because, like, I'm fucking tougher than they are. I don't care, and I play with my son on the floor every fucking day.
Yeah.
And, like, end of story.
Right.
Like
You
So,
definitely lift heavier weight than they
yeah.
do.
I've probably been in more fights than they have too. Um, and that kinda, like, again, leads into my next damn, I fucking laid these bullet points out good.
Oh my god.
And I'm also just, like, a Segway king. And it's like, give me 2 wheels and a stick in between my legs because 'cause I'm a Segway king.
Oh, I hated that.
Ooh, that was a long walk, but we got there,
Oh,
huh?
hated that.
And this is something that you have started to get so much better at, and I've noticed. I want you to know that I've noticed, and it's
Oh.
doing voices
Yes, I have
and,
been
like,
trying.
allowing yourself to not need it to be anything,
Yeah, like, I don't have to be quote unquote good at it.
right? Because our kids and no kids give a shit.
Yeah,
Because guess what? They don't know what the fuck good is.
right.
Like, no offense. Like I said, our kids are smart as fuck, but, like, they're still dumb as far as people go because they haven't had a chance to get as smart.
Right,
So, like, they don't know what good is. They think whatever you do is good because you're doing it with them.
right.
That's it. Like, I've noticed you start to do voices and allow yourself to be sillier, and I think I've noticed, like, both of our kids responding to that because it's not just me in the sword fight. Like, our son makes it a point that you have to play with us.
Yeah, like, he won't start the sword fight without it being all 3 of us.
Exactly. Which I think is huge. And I think that's great. And I think, like, it's so fun because, like, yeah, it is fun for me and him to play because, like, we're best buddies, but it's also really fun for, like, my other best friend to come play with us too.
Yeah.
And I think he feels the same way because he's like, hey, me and daddy are best buddies. Oh shit, me and mommy are best buddies. This just got so much better. Yeah. And it's just because you stop thinking there was like a threshold you needed to meet because the only threshold you needed to meet was just doing it.
Yeah,
That's it. And I mean, like, there is no silly voice. And even if your kid is like, don't do it, like you were with your dad, I bet he still did it. And
probably.
you know what? It created a memory for him.
For him, yeah.
And now maybe something that now that he's reminded you of it, it's allowed you to remember this thing that otherwise, if it had just happened once and he never did it again, it it's gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like the fact that even if it's like your kid is like, as long as they're not in tears asking you to not do it, because all little kids are gonna do that little like, no, don't.
Right.
And of course, coming from a cisgender white male, this sounds really bad, but like their no doesn't mean it. Yeah,
Whoa.
I know. I just wanted to get
Whoa.
ahead of that before people were like, oh, mm-hmm. That's the problem with society right there. No doesn't mean no. No always means no.
Oh my god.
It's like, yes, it does. Unless it's you with your own 2-year-old kid and you're doing a silly voice and they're laughing their fucking ass off while they're saying don't do it. Okay. Um, because again, they're not saying don't do it. It's just they're just excited. Or maybe they
Yeah.
are saying don't do it, and maybe it's just, well, this is a core memory time because this isn't a scary voice. It's not something that's gonna harm you. It's just a silly thing that I'm doing, and it's like you being Hannah Marie Spaghetti.
Right.
It hurt absolutely nobody, but it's a special connection now that you have with your grandma.
Yeah. Fucking hated it at the time, and now I think it's adorable.
Exactly. Same thing with your mom, what she did with her,
Yeah.
with doing the similar thing with something else, mailbox or something.
Yeah.
Again,
Julio, need a mailbox.
drove her up the wall. And again, my mom did it, driving me to school almost every day by telling me she was the bus driver. Um, that did go a little far sometimes.
Yeah, I've heard that story.
But it's not something that like in any way did any sort of permanent damage to me, and it's an amazing memory that I will always have of my mom, and I know she remembers doing it and being silly and having fun doing it at the time, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Just, like, sometimes at night before we would go to bed, she would be like, just look at me with big unblinking eyes and say, "I'm not your mother. I'm an
Oh
alien.
god.
You're my little alien." And I like, again, it would, like, freak me out, but in that giggly, like, sleepover kind of way,
Right.
and I knew she was my mom, and it's not like she would ever just, like, walk backwards out of the room making eye contact
End.
with me.
You go to bed now.
Yeah, "I'll be watching." Yeah, no, um, I did have an issue with sleepwalking and peeing in closets and stuff like that. Probably unrelated. No. Oh, it was probably completely unrelated, actually. It actually probably had to do with the TBI.
Probably.
But again, it's just an amazing memory I have of, like, my mom put me to bed so many nights, but the nights that she did that, like, I can remember a couple of them. My brain tells me I can remember a couple of them, like, separately because I
Yeah.
remember the different beds and arrangements my room were in when it happened, that otherwise those bedtimes would be lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just another bedtime.
Yeah.
So it's just this, like, little silly thing that she did that I, even at the time, like, acted like I didn't like or said no about, is this just amazing memory, and it allows these times and, like, everyday normal occurrences to be, like, captured and held in your brain when otherwise it would just slip away and be gone. You know what I mean? So it's like, why not do that? Why not do the silly voice? Like, why not make up a voice for each different character in the story? Because it's like, maybe it'll be something you guys do. Maybe it'll be something that you do a couple times and your kid makes a big deal out of it. And then you don't do it, but then you remember those couple times for forever and you talk about them for forever. And here you are, like, 36 to 7 some years later. I'm older than that, but I'm taking into account the
Your
fact
age
that,
at the time?
yes, still talking about it, and, like, I remember them, and I think, like, a lot of things that I remember, like, where my parents are specifically involved, um, is when they were being silly,
Yeah.
because, like, you see your parents as the disciplinarian or as a parental figure all the time. So a lot of those moments are just commonplace to your brain. So you lose them once they're done because your brain has no reason to store them or no special tag to put on them once it's in that storage part of your brain. But when you're silly, like your kid is like, wait, this is different. Like, this is not normal, and it's not normal for a good reason, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, I'm gonna remember this, like, I'm gonna put a tag on this, and, like, hopefully it happens so much that it becomes commonplace that they don't, honestly, it's so weird. It's like, hopefully, I can be so much fun to be around that it's just so normal that my kids just don't remember it
Yeah,
because
they're
it's
just
just like,
like,
"That was dad."
yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Which is it's so weird. It's like when I train people, it's like, well, my objective is that you're not gonna need me.
Yeah.
Like, I wanna train you out of needing me. Like, I realize that doesn't make sense financially, but it helps you. Like, so yeah, and then man, that analogy just made me lose it. I'm rolling. I'm rolling, but then
You're just talking about how, like, you want them to just remember you as fun, like, that's the norm.
oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I think we kind of are from a generation and generations of you're supposed to remember me as a disciplinarian or like the impact I, as a dad, am supposed to have is one of fear.
Yeah.
And I think my dad did the best job that he could at getting away from that because he created tons of situations for us to have fun in. I just don't think he was ever allowed to be a kid for long enough to be a kid through the ages that we were doing these things at in my life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Because he was forced to grow up at a very young age just because of the farming community that he was from. He was working at a very young age, and so it was just different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or his parents maybe didn't have the means to do a lot of fun stuff. So it was just different. So he did an amazing job at creating these situations for us to have fun in. And I mean, it's amazing. I have so many great memories of him as like my scout leader, baseball coaches, playing the drums in what is now a questionable outfit when I was playing for a soccer team called the Chiefs, but it's an amazing fucking memory that I have, and I'm sure a lot of other kids remember that every time they shot a ball into that goal, this guy was on the sidelines banging a drum
Yeah.
that was apparently like in hindsight, like whatever the big tom style drum is for like a drum kit,
Yeah.
like the bass drum, the snare, and then the two toms are on the bass, but then there's that one floor, big floor drum
Okay,
with boom,
yeah.
boom, boom, boom. It was one of those. We didn't have a fucking drum kit.
Like, where did that come
He
from?
must have got it at a pawn shop or at somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he went out and got this thing just to bang it when I played soccer when I was like mobbing around the ball age. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we weren't even real humans playing soccer. We were little kids just chasing the ball.
Yeah.
So like that's just one big one. And it's like how fucking silly. You know what I mean? Like he probably didn't think I would remember this as an adult or use it as like a bar essentially that I have to like be better than. But I do. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he probably knew that the fact that he was my scout leader, like my kids are probably not going to be in scouts, but our son's already learned how to start a fire thanks to like the knowledge that I have from my dad putting me in scouts and then being my scout leader and forcing me to learn these things because if he hadn't been there, I was the type of kid who would have told the person to like, like fucking kick rocks. I just flipped nobody off. Nobody could see it. Um, and wouldn't have paid attention. So, like again, he was awesome at creating these situations, racing cars. I mean, it was all amazing. But the one place where I think he struggled at is an area that I am able to pick the slack up now in my parenting. And it's where I'm able to be like, ooh, okay, that because I think every generation you should be trying to be better.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and it's like, in a lot of ways, he made it really hard to be better. But there are some ways that I'm like, I got you on this because my imagination is still very childlike. So,
Yeah.
so I now like just by the way my brain works, like to me, being a dad is creating these situations and being around. You know what I mean? And being present and the way that I get to hopefully like be a little bit better is by being more in tune with these interests that the kids have and watching the shows and like knowing all the characters' names and knowing the characters' personalities, and instead of just being like, "Okay, here's the stuff. I don't know, because 'cause I'm not interested in that."
Yeah.
You know?
But you go play with it. Have fun.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. I guess we're just gonna try to make this like a regular, normal episode, so I should do the break thing, and you'll hear about sweatpants and titty food. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Holy shit, we're parents. This episode is brought to you by Booby Superfoods, the real MVPs of postpartum snacks. Whether you're breastfeeding, chasing toddlers, or just need something that doesn't make you feel like garbage, Booby's got you. Get 10% off your order at boobysuperfoods.com/revive and thrive. That's BOOBIE superfoods.com/revive and thrive. Because your boobs and your sanity deserve nice things. Okay, moms. If you're still living in those crusty maternity leggings from 3 babies ago, it's time. Comfort sweats are basically the uniform for surviving parenthood. Soft, high quality, and somehow still cute even when covered in spit up. Go to comfort.com/Hannah66030 for 10% off your order. That's CMFRT.com/HANNAH66030. Because if you can't have peace and quiet, at least you can have comfy pants. Holy shit, we're parents. And we're back.
Cool. So, actually, I was just thinking about, like, maybe people who are struggling to even just, like, remember what it was like to be a kid, or, like, get in kind of, like, the mindset of a child. I think an adult man saying child is incorrect and should not happen.
Okay.
Um, getting, like, into, like, the mindset of a kid, yeah, that hits the ear way better. Is these videos I've seen, and I hope everybody's seen them because they're hilarious. I know you have, of this woman who does these hilarious, like, "Am I the asshole?" like, podcast style Reddit readings, but, like, as these 2 little girl characters.
Yeah, little toddlers.
Yeah, it's the same o she's is
Yeah.
this okay. You know how I am. I think you had to tell me that,
Yeah.
actually. And just, like, that is such, like, a silly, stupid, hilarious, good way to, like, remind yourself of how a kid is seeing the world, because I think she still very much has a great handle on it.
Yes.
Like, her
She's so good.
interpretation of situations, like, feel very much like the adult styled vocalizations of a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, which, speaking of Reddit and reading things off of Reddit, do you by chance have anything from Reddit for this wonderful Justin episode?
I do.
Wow, what a crazy coincidence.
I think it's funny that you said speaking of Reddit when it was not mentioned.
No, I did. I said Reddit reads, podcast style reads, Am I the Asshole? It's
Oh,
all Reddit.
I missed the
That's what
Reddit
she's doing.
reads.
You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. I thought it went without say, because if you watched the videos and you found them funny, you would know that it was Reddit.
Yeah,
I would
that's
guess.
fair. That's
I
a
just
fair
assume
assumption.
because it's like a direct, I don't know. I'm assuming people know this because it's a direct imitation of a podcast that we listen
Right.
to. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But if people didn't, that's what she's doing. Mansplaining.
So, first one up on r/parenting is, how much do you play with your toddler in a day? Because I am constantly racked with guilt. I don't play with my son enough. He's with me full time, and I find myself distracted often. Listening to podcasts, organizing his toys, etc. It's hard to stay present. I feel like I'm only actively playing with him a few hours a day. Otherwise, he's playing, and I'm next to him doing something else. We do read a lot of books and sing songs. We have daily dance parties. I take him to the park or museum a lot, but something about engaged playing feels tedious. If anyone else struggles with this, what do you suggest?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Was this person thinking that what they're doing is somehow not enough or like could be more? Because it sounds
Yeah.
like they're doing amazing. And I really hope the comments say this. Like, you don't need to be actively playing all the time with your kids. Parallel play is a very real thing, and it's
Yeah.
something that adults and kids need to learn how to do and be comfortable doing. Like, there's nothing wrong with being in the room with somebody you love and you're both doing two separate things, but those two separate things are made better because you're around this other person.
Right.
That can be true with a spouse or with like a parent and child. I mean,
Yeah.
love is love. If you like being around this kid, but maybe you don't always like the stuff they're playing with, play with them for a couple hours and then let them keep playing while you go do something else. And then go back and play with them for a little bit more until your cup's a little full and then go do something else. Like,
And it seems like that's exactly what
that's
this
literally
parent is
exactly what they
doing.
said they were doing. So like
I mean,
this
all the
parent,
comments are, yeah, it sounds like you're doing great.
yeah,
Don't
this parent needs to
stress.
give themselves a pat on the back. And I think a lot more parents need to make an attempt to look at themselves objectively from an outside perspective for good and bad.
Yeah.
Like to make sure you're not doing anything bad, but to also remind yourself that you're doing a lot of shit that's good.
Yes.
Because especially moms, I don't think are reminded of that enough.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of blame and things gets pointed and aimed at mom. So there's a lot of extra stress there. And I think that can make it harder to play or be silly all the time you're around. But you don't need to, as long as you're doing it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're making the effort to do it. And again, I think we've talked about this before, is like kids will just appreciate that you're there.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
And
yeah,
any effort,
e-
even minimal.
exactly. Or even if you're like, picking up the room, as long as you're still answering them if they're asking you, or you're still allowing yourself to be engaged by the child. What's the problem?
Or use that to be silly and narrate what you're doing in a funny song or something like that. Even just singing in a silly voice, but just saying exactly what you're doing. Like,
Yeah, because chances are, if you're this worried about it, you're probably an anxiety filled person, so you're probably already doing that. So why not just do it out loud in a silly voice?
I think my favorite response on here is I go by the bandit rule. If I can get as much play in one session as bandit healer, then I'm doing well. And he does 7 minutes straight before taking a break.
I mean, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with doing that and then taking like 7 minutes on, 7 minutes off, 7 minutes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, it might even be better for your kid because it allows them to start creating this new way of play that you can come back to and then be introduced to. And it might allow you to stay longer because, oh, now I'm not the source of all of the entertainment. They're
Yeah.
explaining this thing to me. Ooh, so that ate up 7 minutes, and then my 7 minutes is gonna start. So then before you know it, that's 15, 14, almost 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as you are making the effort and not just while I'm in the room with them.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I can't talk to you because I'm doing this thing that I could very well be talking to you while I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's
I
acceptable.
mean, this person even said they do daily dance
They go to
parties. They're doing
museums.
just fine.
Yeah, like, and if you're taking your kids to museums, I mean, just that alone, good job. Like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause not enough people are doing that. I know because we've been to a lot of museums with our kids, and we've only seen a lot of people at one.
Yeah. We should go to
And
the children's museum
yeah.
this weekend.
Okay, 2. But to be fair, at the Strong Museum, it was mostly like field trip.
Right.
So it wasn't people taking their kids, it was people sending their kids, which is completely different.
Yes.
But yeah, I was just like, this person's doing great.
Yeah.
This person literally just described like doing the things that I said to do to be
Exactly.
a good parent. Yeah. So props to them.
Yes.
That
You're
that
doing great.
that message should have been a flex and not what can I do better?
Yeah. Alright, moving into another one. I can't play with my toddler. I'm a stay-at-home mom to my 3-year-old little girl, and I honestly struggle so much to play with her. My husband is great at it, but I can't figure out how. I forgot how to play. Wow.
I was just
Can
gonna
relate. Um,
I was gonna say if it wasn't for ages and gender.
she waits for me to come up with scenarios for her dolls or use my imagination to come up with something for us to play, and I just can't. I was so good at this as a kid, but my mind, like, shoos away from it now as an adult,
Oh.
to the point where I dread when she says, "Mommy, will you play with me?" because I
Oh.
hate it. I hate feeling like I have no idea what to do and I am just disappointing her. How do you guys play with your toddlers and how do you keep the mental energy to do so?
Um, mommy, play with me. Okay, sweetie, what are we playing? Boom. Right there.
Yeah.
You're not creating anything.
It sounds like her daughter asks her to come up with the scenarios.
Have get a fucking book. Like I don't what do you I don't I guess that's the thing that I don't understand where it's like you don't need to create the things. Go get a book like of fairy tales of anything and use that. Create it in that world. Like
Yeah.
buy your kid 4 books from the same series, and now that is the character that you guys make believe with. Like, I that I like, and I'm sorry, I'm sure I'm sounding like a dick to people who don't have brains that work this way, but, like, it's just how my brain works. Like, to me, that's just so common sense of, like, okay, well, like, I don't create the imaginary worlds that we play in all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do sometimes, but a lot of times it's shit that somebody else made up,
Right.
and
Depending on the toy.
we just play in that world, and I'm hardly making anything up. A lot of it is me reciting facts I know about whatever this thing is, and our son not giving a shit, but
He's just like, "Okay, daddy."
he can somehow later regurgitate them.
Yeah. I like this response too. My best tip for getting over this is riffing on something they're already doing. My 2-year-old's favorite game at the moment is throwing the broom over the back of the couch like a javelin. So we call him the Javelin King and do this all day long, and then I can narrate it like an Olympic announcer. Most of his games have started like this. He was doing some insane toddler thing, and I had to think about how I could roll with it. Try not trying to make it sound easy. It's hard to remember how to play until you approach it with this mindset.
Well, and it's one of those balls that the hardest thing to do is get it moving. But
Yeah.
once it's moving, I think you realize that your brain wants to play. Like your human brain doesn't understand the societal structure that we've built in modern times.
Yeah.
You know, our brain seeks this form of entertainment, and I think a lot of adults just fill that with other people's imagination instead of
Yeah.
using their own. But it's like any muscle, once you start to use it, it starts to get stronger and it just starts to get easier and easier to use. It's like it's easy to just well, I mean, it's easy. We don't have any real shows we watch anymore, I guess,
Yeah.
because a lot of our energy is put into being interested in things our kids are interested in.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, why not? Why not? You do you need to watch that 34th Cop Show that is the exact same thing, but with different people who look exactly like all the other people.
Right?
Like, do you really need to watch that? Like, you don't even have water cooler talk anymore, so it's not even like you're gonna miss anything at work, you know what I mean? So it's like all these excuses we have in our brains to, like, do this dumb adult shit. It's not real. This is like so like, don't watch that stupid fucking adult show about made up sex drama for people that don't really exist, and learn about made up dogs that your kids like that don't really exist that are just as real. Like,
Yeah. I really like this idea of narrating as part of your play. Like this other comment here is narrating is one of my favorite ways to play with my son. He loves fighting, and I'm so not a fighter, lol. Me when our son wants to play swords. So he has this big stuffed dinosaur that's as big as he is, and I narrate like a sports commentator while he is in the wrestling ring beating up this poor dinosaur. We do multiple rounds, and I get silly with it, naming his moves, different things, and telling the dinosaur he needs to find a better strategy because he's getting absolutely walloped out there. We also do safaris where my son is an animal and I'm like Steve Irwin narrating what the animal is doing. I do a lot of wow, what a majestic creature in my best terrible Australian accent, like I just did.
I was gonna
Sometimes,
say, my first thoughts were like narration in an Australian, like Steve Irwin, or English, like David Attenborough.
yeah.
Like, you just narrate your kid. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll even throw a stuffed zebra or something out onto the floor and watch as the lion hunts it.
Crikey.
Sometimes he's a T Rex and I'm the newscaster talking about how he's destroying the whole city.
And again, none of this is anything this person made up. They're
Right.
literally regurgitating facts just in a way that is playful,
Yeah, exactly.
which
So,
is, I
I
think,
love that idea.
a lot of like a lot of benefit could be had from that, like, shift of like, I need to create this fakeness
Yes.
to there's so much fakeness that already exists. Let's just use that.
Yeah.
And I can cobble together all this stuff. Like, I don't need to grow every ingredient in a garden in order to make dinner.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Alright, last one to round this out. Might make me tear up a little, but I think it reiterates the importance of playing with your kid as much as you can. And it's cherish every moment of play with your kids. Someday will be the last.
oh, I hate this shit, but go on.
My daughter is just fine. She's in the other room, winding down before bed. We just did reading together, side by side, since she doesn't need me to read to her anymore. She's reading chapter books on her own. But
Hell yeah.
right? This morning when I was in to wake her for school, I noticed her old play kitchen unused for the better part of a year. We haven't played pretend cafe in ages, and she used to make me little meals like she was running a restaurant. I'd order something silly, and she'd make it for me in her kitchen. Sometimes I'd brush her off, too busy to play, or we're watching something right now, or I'm playing some stupid video game, and I'd give anything to play cafe with her again. I didn't know I'd miss it so damn much. I'm so proud of this little lady and what she's becoming, but man, she was a cool little girl too. So it's important to cherish this time, and it's really cool if your kids want to play with you.
Yeah. I mean, why can't they play cafe now? See, that's my thing. It's like, you don't need to wait for them to want to play with you. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe ask
even,
her.
yeah, even now, like, sometimes our son will be like, I want to watch Paw Patrol. I'm like, all right, well, okay, but we could go downstairs and play Paw Patrol,
Yeah.
and we go downstairs and play Paw Patrol. So it's
Yeah,
like,
because he's like, "Oh, shit, yeah, I forgot that was an option."
yeah, and I think a lot of parents might struggle with that. Of like, you don't need to wait for your kid. Like, if just think about it. Like, if any other relationship in your life, like, you made somebody be the instigator to every single interaction you had, they would stop instigating those interactions, right? Because it's
Yeah,
not reciprocated. Kids are humans. Their brains work the same way.
exactly.
So why would that not be the same? You know what I mean? Why
Yeah,
wouldn't your kids stop asking you to play if you don't ask them to play, right?
yeah,
If your kid is the only person saying, "Hey, let's play," eventually they're going to stop because eventually their brains are going to know, "Hey, I don't ask for stuff I don't want. They're not asking for this. They don't want it." It might not be that literal to
yeah,
their brain,
but
but
it's how it'll process.
exactly. So I feel bad, and like I said, that was why I say I hate this shit because it's like sorry you fucked up. Don't try to make other people feel bad. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
And I
I
read
don't
it
know,
as more
do better
like,
next time, I
"Don't
guess.
fuck up like I did."
Yeah, I read it more as like give me sympathy because I bet that's what the comments are.
Yeah, I
You
didn't
know
even
what? And
look.
when I think I know Reddit in a different way.
Yeah.
um, so but yeah, that's why I don't like that of like you never know when it's gonna be the last time playing was like bull fucking shit. You should because it should be the last time you ask them.
Yeah,
Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. I think that's I that just got under my skin.
yeah. Well, sorry I
No, no,
ended
no,
our
not
Reddit
not like
session that
not like
way.
under my skin in like a negative way. Just like got me worked up because it's like one of those. It's a self inflicted wound.
Yeah.
So don't put that out to everybody else. You know what I mean? Talk to your therapist about that. Talk to your friends about that shit.
Well, you see, Mir, too many people treat the internet as their therapist.
I know. I guess I forget a lot of people don't therapize themselves. Don't go to therapy. Um, I didn't really want to end it on like a angry sounding rant of me like sounding like I'm just calling somebody a bad parent because that's never what I want to do because I want to encourage everybody to be a better parent because everybody can be.
Yeah,
There's no such thing as a perfect parent, which means everybody can be better. Um, like that's why I try to mention a lot of things I struggle with
yeah,
because I am good at a lot of this stuff, but I suck at a lot of the other stuff. I mean, just the way that it is. Um, and that is a lot of the stuff that I ask you to do.
yeah.
And it's just because I don't struggle with asking for help. And I encourage everybody else to work on that. Like that's one thing I did like about the first two is that they were seeking advice of
Yeah,
how to
they
get
wanted to
better.
do better.
Yes. As opposed to oh fucked up. Like, wait a minute. You are at an age where you're still putting your kid to bed.
Waking her up for school.
No, we parallel reading chapter books was in it about
Oh.
like read her a story, but like next to her because she doesn't need me to read or whatever. You know what I mean? She's reading chapter book. What the fuck? You can still interact and play with your kid. I guess it might be different, but if she's that old, okay, play cafe in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Have
that's
her
true.
try to
Upgrade your
make real
play.
food. You know what I mean? Same game, bigger stuff, more fun for the child.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it seems so easy to me that just complaining one I did not like. Like again, I love the other two because they were just genuinely like this is not something I'm good at. I recognize that. Does anybody know how I can get better at that for my children's sake?
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. If everybody can do that a little bit, I think they're gonna have way better relationships with their kids and themselves as a parent.
I think it's just funny understanding our different perspectives, even like reading something, because I didn't read it at all as complaining. I read it as like, keep playing with your kids because it's great, and that's what you should be doing.
I read it as like poor pitiful me. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just funny.
interesting. All right, well, that's it for today. We've shared some stuff and laughed or whatever the hell Hannah says.
I was just about to ask if you were trying to do my outro.
I am. Do you want to do it? Can you pull it up?
You sure?
And okay.
Had to interrupt my intro, trying to take over my outro. Alright, that's it for today's episode of Holy Shit, We're Parents. Thanks for hanging out with us while we taught you how
Whoa,
to
whoa,
oh
whoa,
my
whoa,
god, you gotta be
whoa,
fucking kidding me.
This is the Justin episode.
I'm not doing it again.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, I fucked up. If you like what you've heard, you can follow us online. The podcast is at Holy Shit, We're Parents. I am Daddy Muscles _. You can follow Hannah at
Your doula Hannah.
If you really, really like what you heard, you can follow us on Patreon, where for $4 a month, you'll get, among other things, early access to episodes. You will, for $10 a month, among other things, and early access to episodes, get full Discord access where you can chat with us directly and like-minded parents, and video access to God, please somebody be the reason that we start video recording these. Like, I'm not begging you to follow us on Patreon, but like that'd be great. For $50 a month, you can get a Thanks Mom shout out where we will personally thank you by name at the end of every episode for as long as you are supporting us at that level. And a bunch of other shit too. I decided to try to chop this down so it's not such an earful. So maybe you will give us money so we can keep doing this.
Alright.
All right.
Love you, bye.
Just an episode out.
Holy shit, we're holy shit, we're holy shit, we're parents.